1 minute, so let's hustle, boys.
Yeah, I'm flat out in the car. The car won't go.
He's got something wrong.
Something wrong.
The first pull out of the day to go onto the racetrack for the first session, the car was only running on 2 cylinders. You know, as we roll into Homestead for spring training, you know, there's a lot of teams that have been out testing 8 or 10 days before this. You know, and our drivers didn't have the budget quite yet to be able to go do testing like that. So we're starting up fresh at Homestead.
You guys are buying beer tonight.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dual.
When it's time to go to tech, you need to remove the wickers off the car, front rear wickers. You need to have the seat out. You need to have the fire bottle accessible so they can check that. Once you get up onto the ramps and onto their tech pad, they have a group of basically tech people that will check every inch of the car. You know, they'll check the track width, you know, the wheelbase, the restrictor on your engine, you know, make sure that's the right size. Make sure that, you know, the car is as the rule book states. After you go through your whole, you know, their list of things to check, they say you're all good, you roll off the tech pad, you'll go back to your garage. Everything's going to be brand new. I mean, the cars are all repainted and everything's been gone through and fresh and like brand new. So there's going to be break-in periods and you know, same with his crew as well. You know, I mean, there's some new faces and you know, some old faces. And, you're trying to get guys in the swing of things, and so there's going to be little hiccups, and that happens everywhere. I mean, when I was on some of the top, you know, Indy Lights teams, I mean, sometimes tests go horrible. But you want it to happen at a test, the bad things to happen, so it doesn't happen in the race, you know, during the race weekend. And when you're in this industry and things like this happen, you know, with the golf cart, don't let that affect you. You kind of, you know, you deal with it at that moment, and then you move on, and you try to make the best of, you know, the rest of the time you're at the track. And as a team, you know, we're going to keep growing together, and you know, we're gonna build this thing, and you know, we need to be ready when we go to St. Pete so we can win some races. The 2 drivers we have this season, starting out, we have Ayrton Horry, been with us at the Griffiths test last year, and he's been working hard to get the budget to get in the car. We also have been in talks with Cameron Shields, and working with him, we were able to get some budget together to get him learn from Homestead and St. Pete, and keep working to try to get them pregnant for the whole season. There's a few different reasons you go to a test. Trying out new drivers, just because you want to build your database, you want more available setup changes, figure out different settings for different weather conditions. You know, maybe a certain driver, can feel the car a little differently than the drivers you've had previously, and can get you a better setup, get you closer to that optimal lap time. The thing with tests is that they can be very crucial to how your team moves forward and your performance of your car, or if you're not prepared for that test, or something changes, or something's a little off, and you keep moving forward with the things that you want to change, and your numbers will be completely off. It can get you in a range where you can be a top car, and you can be dead last because of this one mistake that was made or happened, sends you down the wrong path at the test. And that's what the difference is between experienced teams and inexperienced teams. The experienced teams, they'll make sure that little thing doesn't happen, or if it does happen, because it can happen to anybody, they will catch it and say, okay, we need to go back to the pad, go back to square one, and restart so we don't get false data. We get to the awesome St. Pete street course and get everything set up, and we go through tech, and we're raring to go as a team. Everybody, drivers, crew, we're all ready to go. So we're going to come in the next morning and have our breakfast at the track and get the cars warmed up and go out for our first practice. And it's delayed. COVID has hit pretty hard. So the league and the state of Florida, the town of St. Pete, they're trying to figure out, what's the best thing to do. So there's just quite a few delays, and then they're like, okay, let's go out and do this first session. And for us, we got brand new brakes on the car, and we're going to use the first few laps of the first session to bed the brakes in. And we get the first few laps in, red flag, another red flag. So we got our brakes bedded in, but no real fast laps. And then session's over. We come back and they tell us that qualifying is delayed. Well, we're going to come back and do it tomorrow. So we were there the whole day, just kind of waiting to see how things happen. The next morning, or actually that night, the league and the state got together along with the promoters, and they were only allowing just the crew in the track, just the crews and track workers. We had to go through scans, get their temperature checked, and be on a list. We had to do these lists at night, and only go through one gate at the track. So we get all through. Everybody gets in. We get the cars warmed up. We're getting ready, and they call everybody over, and event's canceled. So here we are. All of the cost to come out, do the Homestead test, and then come to St. Pete. The hotels, the rental cars, just pay for the crew, the tires, the entry, the food, travel, everything. We've done everything that you do for a race, and there's no race. So now that the event's canceled, I'm trying to get flights, together, get my crew out of here early, get the team out, and, but do we want to be on an airplane? What's going on with this COVID? What do we do? How nobody knows what's going on. How bad it is. When they start shutting events down, outdoor events, it's got to be pretty bad. So. I got a consensus with all the crew, and it was our decision. Let's protect ourselves, but let's get on that plane and get home, so we can get with our families and figure out the next thing in life.